Lucha Underground, Season 2, Episode 9, Aztec Warfare 2. The temple's never going to be the same again. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here. The whole episode was this match. And what's interesting is hours before the show aired, Lucha Underground put on their social medias, like on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever, all across social media, it wasn't a long match, but it was entertaining nonetheless. It was for the final spot in Aztec Warfare 2. And it was a four-way fatal four-way between the two guys from the crew, Cisco and Castro. It's late, and I'm tired as hell. I'm fried from watching this episode. My heart was just racing at the end of this. I could not believe it. So I'm ready to go to bed, but I wanted to get this done. So bear with me, guys. Joey Ryan, the two guys from the crew, and Killshot. Fatal four-way for the last spot on this match. And Joey Ryan, I'm not going to get into the details of it. It was a quick match. It was entertaining because, you had the guys from the crew going against each other eventually. Killshot, I was actually kind of ruined. I mean, I love Joey Ryan. He's a riot. All the things that are going viral with him lately, I love him. But I was kind of rooting for Killshot. He's like, I think he's like one of the dark horses of the season so far. I think I'd say the second half of this season, I think things are going to really change for him because he hasn't done much. But, there's some weird stuff in the trailer that came out, like the military stuff with him, like fighting people and camouflage and shooting people. That stuff eventually is going to come out, I think. They haven't touched on it yet. So we just got to be patient as Lucha Underground fans are to wait an entire first season and now, ninth season to see Matanza. I know I'm jumping ahead here. To see a guy like Matanza hit the ring and completely devastate Lucha Underground forever. I don't think, unless you knew who this guy was, unless you knew who this was playing him, the wrestler, which I just found out literally hours later. The guy's name is Jeff Cobb, and he's got, it looks like he's got some kind of amateur background. I didn't do it. I looked, when I found out who it was, I went to Wikipedia, to look up. There is no page for him. It goes to some it clicks over to some cartoonist who's like passed away, and I was like, okay, that's strange. I don't know why it does that, but you can go look. That's what it does. And it's not like I misspelled it either. You type in Jeff Cobb, and it goes to some other guy's name who just died last year. So whatever. Anyways, Matanza is Jeff Cobb. But let's back up. Everyone involved in this match was so fun to watch. There was no how do I say this? It was all killer, no filler. That's one of my old classic things I like to say. Mainly about music. Like back in the day when you bought a CD and a lot of people buy it because they know the one song that plays on the radio and they buy it for that, and the rest of the CD sucks, but it had the one hit, so that's why you bought it. And then you had the bands that made a whole CD full of, single-worthy music, and he called it all, no filler, all killer, no filler. Anyways, that's what all these guys were. There wasn't anybody in this match that was like, oh, this guy really, like you're watching a Royal Rumble and it's 3MB comes down to the ring, yay, or the Social Outcasts, yay, I'll go down the list real quick, and then I'll go over some of the details, because about halfway through is when it really starts getting shook up. Halfway through, I'm meaning like halfway done with the eliminations is what I mean by halfway through. So, you had Phoenix start out. He was a champ. He's the underdog in all this. He had, the most to accomplish to fight through. It was supposed to be, 19 other guys. The total of 20 became 21. Number 2, holy cow, this was really special. Rey Mysterio got his debut on Lucha Underground. And the classy thing, and they even talked about this, the classy thing that Phoenix did was like, hey, get in here, this is your crowd, this is your night, and just like took like a back seat for like a couple minutes and let Mysterio go around, hit the corners, even shook his hand, gave him a quick hug, and then they started the match. I mean, it was like Ring of Honor, you started it with a handshake with honor, And these two started out. The place was going nuts, and it just snowballed from there. As far as the action was absolutely insane. And Rey Mysterio, when I'm part of the Ramble About Wrestling podcast. If you're not familiar, but if you watch my videos, you know this. When we had Chris DeJoseph on, that was one of the questions I asked him. I'm like, how is Ray's health? And he's like, oh, his health is great. And I believed him, but I was, in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, but I'm going to kind of like wait to see it. Kind of like one of those, I'm going to, see it to believe it, things. Well, let me tell you, holy cow. Mysterio looked great. I mean, it was, most of these guys are so quick and they're so agile, and you're like, man, how is he going to keep up with them? And I'm sure it was. I've seen it in interviews where he talks about, it's like, yeah, you got to keep up with these guys. But he did a great job. He really did. He looked great, and he even pulled off some moves that I've never seen him do before. And that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping that we weren't going to see. Not that it was stale. I don't want to call it stale, but, he was in WWE so long, 15 years or almost, give or take a little. And you saw the same match with him, like, all the time, You had to go back to old WCW, ECW stuff to see, like, refreshing stuff of his, because he had the same, kind of like watching John Cena. Well, John Cena's gotten better through the years, but anyways. But yeah, he looked great. And he lasted till the end. But let's keep going with the list. King Cuerno was next. And I was writing so fast it would be hard to like read my shit. Argenis was number 4. We haven't seen him in a long time. Actually, we have. One thing I've heard, and don't ask me which one. I heard Argenis was actually one of the disciples of death. He was one of them. I don't remember which one. If he was purple or red mask or whatever. He was one of those guys. So we actually have seen him, but we haven't seen the Argenis character in a while. So this was really cool. Great to see him, although he didn't last very long. We then saw Johnny Mundo. Crowd went nuts, booing him out of the building. You know, Johnny Zero, like they always call him. Then Joey Ryan came out and did something that was, well, some would call it genius, some would call it, what did Vampiro say? A baby cat? Yeah, that was, excuse me. That was funny. He handcuffs himself to like the fence on the the fence, you know, where the fans are up in the stands or whatever. He handcuffed himself to that fence. It was just great. He was like, you know, carry on, you know, go get him. And he's like directing traffic in the ring throughout the whole thing. And every once in a while, the action would spill out and literally hit him in the face. You know, what was it? Someone, I think Mundo threw Masquerita Sagrada at him. You know, so he had, you know, he was, you know, pummeled by a midget. It was hilarious. Next out was Puma, number 7. Number 8 was Jack Evans. I'm reading some of my other notes here. Bear with me. Number 9 was Taya. Was the only female in this. Well, besides Katrina, but she doesn't count as far as like women wrestlers. It was great to see Taya. She looked great. She's quickly becoming my favorite female wrestler in this company, just because, man, she can really, she can kick some ass, and she can, you know, how do you say that? Take a licking and keep on ticking. You know, she's really something. Cage was out next, went after her pretty quickly, and the whole thing between Mundo and Cage just. Was nuts right from the start, these two going back and forth. Mundo ends up putting him through Katrina's window, same way he did to Alberto El Patron, you know, or Del Rio. Just crazy. Ends up giving him a cinder block later, and Taya pins him. I'm jumping around a little bit here. The last 10 guys, Masquerita Sagrada. Then 12 was Marty the Moth. And it was great to see him. I don't think he lasted very long either, but it was great to see him in this match. Drago. The Mac. Did I miss someone? Oh, no. Chavo Guerrero was number 15. Number 16 was PJ Black. 17, Aerostar. You know, and then it starts winding down, and you're like, ooh, you know, who's going to be some of the last guys? You knew Mil Muertes was going to be number 20. But, you know, you're kind of wondering if and when Matanza was going to show up. And honestly, he was my pick. I just had a feeling, you know. Dragon Azteca was great to see him. Man, this kid, I don't know who this guy is, you know. I don't know who the guy is under the mask. I'll have to do some research. If you know, put it in the notes below. Let me know, because I really don't know. But man, this guy was like a young Rey Mysterio, flying all over the place. His action was incredible. That was, Dragon Azteca Jr., 18. 19 was Tejano. Came out with the bull rope, cleared the ring, was great. And 20, accompanied by Katrina, was Mil Muertes. And before he even gets all the way down the stairs, Pentagon Jr. comes down. And then there was a thing before this all went down in the back. I'm not going to talk about it. But it was a confrontation between Phoenix, Mil Muertes, and Katrina. And the lights went out, and it was spooky, and she appears and disappears like she always does. I love Katrina. This is great. But this is when things really start, like, getting crazy. Pentagon Jr. attacks him with a chair. Just completely pummels him. And then rolls him in the ring. And he ends up getting, splashed by Mysterio and double pinned by Mysterio and Puma. And Katrina just loses it. Completely loses it. Goes over by Vampiro, screaming at him. And he gets up in her face and he's like, what? Well, he doesn't say that, but he's got this look on his face. He's all confident. He's looking down at her. And she just goes like apeshit Stephanie McMahon on his ass. And just, okay. You know how Stephanie McMahon slaps him, guys, when she's screaming at him. Okay. Katrina made Stephanie McMahon's slap look like a kindergarten slap. She just about knocked Vampiro on his ass. Told him, she's like, get the fuck out of here. And he's just screaming at him. I was like, whoa. Well, then he ends up going back to his commentary position. He didn't leave because as she's yelling at him, the counter starts going again, as in there was someone else coming to the ring. And Matt Striker's like, sorry, we have technical difficulties. This counter's not supposed to be, counting. Dario Cueto shows up. Everybody just loses it. And he just everyone's so excited to see him back. He's, I think they forget how much they hated him. But Cueto's that guy that you love to hate, So, compared to what Katrina's been doing in the temple, which has basically been protecting her champ, this whole time, Cueto shows up with Matanza, Cueto, and, his brother, and, man, what I said last week, it was like, gosh, yeah, I hope they clean him up a little bit. They didn't clean him up. I mean, the blood was off of his arms, but his jumpsuit was still pretty nasty. I mean, obviously the blood wasn't fresh. It took him a week to get to the temple. But, he had the mask on, and, man, this guy is just a freaking beast and a half. Jeff Cobb, my God. Matanza, jeez. I don't know if you. Well, I was listening to the live reaction YouTube video from the Twitwell guys, which by the way, the Twitwell guys got an honorable mention on the episode tonight. So cheers to you guys for that. That's pretty cool. Lucha Underground loves the Twitwell guys. If you they said something to the effect of, if Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, you put them together, and you got this guy, and that's about it. You got the muscle of Lesnar and the technical abilities of Angle, because this guy was just suplexing the shit out of everyone. Oh my God. He annihilated the last half of all the guys, 10 guys. I'm not going to go through who all eliminated who, but man, he he got a "This is awesome" chant before he even did anything in the ring. Didn't add anything there. Let's see. He eliminated. Well, the last one he eliminated was Rey Mysterio. But he eliminated Phoenix, Rey Mysterio. Going down my list. Joey Ryan. He broke the fence that had him handcuffed. He broke it. Matt Striker's losing his mind. He's like, he bent steel. Okay. But he basically tossed him in the ring, kicked his ass, got rid of him in 2 seconds. He gave Joey Ryan 3 gut-wrench suplexes. Jeez Louise. And then by this time, towards the end, when one of the last guys he got was Puma, was number 19 last. And at that point, I was like, man, this is like Lucha Underground turned into Suplex City. Totally. Let's see who else here. I know there's a bunch of other guys he got. He got rid of the Mac, Chavo Guerrero, Aerostar, Dragon Azteca Jr, Tejano, and man, yeah, so it's like 10 guys he got rid of, the last 10 guys, and just absolutely ridiculous. This guy, I don't know what else to say about him. This is, as far as episodes, this episode was so much fun because there was so much action and everyone got a chance to shine in this match. That was nice. Even Masquerita Sagrada got to, even tossed around Phoenix a little bit. I think it was Phoenix. Yeah, everyone shined. Even if they were in a match just for a little bit, they shined. They got a pop. They got some kind of reaction. Nobody was sitting on their hands for this one. They knew how important and how crazy this match was going to be. And obviously we all did too watching this. The reactions on Twitter, I was just kind of going down the list of people we talk about Lucha Underground or hashtagging it or whatever, or Aztec Warfare 2. People just losing their minds over this episode. Even got Lucha Underground to trend. That's impressive. That's awesome. So congrats to Lucha Underground on that. Such a great episode. Best one this season so far. I mean, they've all been good as far as action and storylines, but this, oh man, I don't know what else to say about it. So I'm gonna end it here. I'm probably gonna watch it back, a couple more times over the course of the next week, and Lucha Underground, you have, oh man. You have turned the temple upside down, and I've got a feeling Matanza is going to be champ for quite a while. I'm going to throw out just an early prediction as far as his success. I don't know if he's going to get a rematch with Phoenix right away. We'll see if Phoenix is walking next week. We'll see if any of these guys are walking next week. I'm going to make a prediction and say Matanza stays champ till the end of the season. Don't know if he's going to lose it at the end of the season. Who knows? He may end the season still being champ. But this guy is... I don't think anybody expected this. Unless you knew the man himself. Honestly. I didn't. I had no clue. I thought it was going to be like, Braun Strowman just kind of clobbering people and shit like that. We got so much more than that. Holy crap. This guy's a high flyer, a technical guy, brutal strength and speed. Dear God. Okay, that's it. That's it for this one. I've talked on enough for this guy. Go watch it. I don't know if they're going to put the whole match on YouTube. Maybe they will. If they do, great. At least I know they'll put the highlights up. But yeah, go watch it if you haven't yet. Jeez Louise. Such a fun match. Alright, that's it for this one. Can't wait to see what episode 10 brings with the new champ. Dario Cueto's back. El Jefe. So good to have him back. See ya.